Nepal Supreme Court delivers historic ruling in favor of same-sex marriage.
Here's a summary of the article.
The Supreme Court of Nepal has issued a landmark ruling ordering authorities to recognize a gay foreign spouse of a Nepalese citizen and instructing the government to move towards the legalization of same-sex marriage. The first such judgment was passed by the Supreme Court in 2017 when a lesbian couple took their case after a non-tourist visa was denied to one of the spouses, an American national. The court ruled in favor of the lesbian couple, stating, if a foreign national claiming to be married to a Nepalese citizen submits a marriage registration certificate and the Nepalese citizen confirms the marriage in their visa application, then the issuance of visa to the foreign national cannot be denied. The second case mentioned dates back to 2007 when, in response to a petition brought forward by LGBTQ+ activists, the Supreme Court ordered the government to set up a committee with the purpose of studying legislation on the recognition of same-sex marriage across the world. Building on the judgments from 2007 and 2017, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Pokhrel and Volts, stating that failure to recognize same-sex marriage violates the constitution in Nepal, as well as the country's international human rights obligations. Given this background, it appears that same-sex marriage should be considered a subject that is envisioned by the Constitution and in accordance with the Constitution of Nepal. The decisions made by this court, the report by the committee formed in accordance with the order by this court, and the human rights treaties ratified by Nepal, the ruling stated. Senior LGBT rights researcher at Human Rights Watch, Kyle Knight, commented on the ruling, saying, "The Supreme Court has again drawn attention to the government's lagging implementation of court orders to recognize same-sex relationships."
This post received a score of 7,400, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Per Human Rights Watch, the government has now been instructed to implement the ruling, and it also makes Nepal one of the leading countries for LGBTQ rights in the world. The Supreme Court of Nepal has instructed the government to recognize the same-sex foreign spouse of a Nepalese citizen. The court also instructed the government to urgently consider a 2015 court-ordered report that recommended broader recognition of same-sex relationships. Building on judgments from 2007 and 2017 that recognized rights of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender LGBT people, the court ruled that failure. Well done, Nepal. Live and let live.
The world is coming around slowly.
And some countries US are speeding right past the goal and spinning back quickly to the dark ages.
US is like 53rd world countries in a trench coat. No universal health care, militarized police force occupying civilian neighborhoods to enforce the rule of capital-owning oligarchs, drug and environmental laws entirely disconnected from accepted scientific understanding, normalized slave labor, tax revenue funneled into pointless military operations to oppress foreign countries and propaganda to pump up the egos of the despotic leaders while the citizens languish, etc.
Such a great description. I just imagined a Muppet Man of shady characters going, "Pissed. Wanna buy a letter?"
What caused our nation's Supreme Court to adopt such a progressive idea that not even other first world nations have been able to imitate? I'm stunned and extremely happy at the same time.
I think most countries don't have powerful courts or a legal system that allows for the Supreme Court to be a national force. The US has a powerful one, Brazil does. I think the majority of Europe does not. The courts of UK or Germany are never going to have a grand role to play in a national civil rights debate.
I come from a third world country, and most victories pertaining the LGBTQ community have been handled by the courts. Let me say it's a mix of judicial independence and a strong constitution, even though most judges espouse conservative social opinions.
I find it funny that Nepal has advanced more in LGBTQ rights than countries like China or Japan ever did.
Great news! Nepal has been championing LGBT rights in South Asia since the beginning. They were the first country in the region to decriminalize homosexuality and are most likely to legalize same-sex marriage before India with the way things are headed.
This is a race where I'd love a competition. In India it has arrived at the Supreme Court. If all goes right, gay marriage could be legal soon.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.